This is Ducati World on the Sega Dreamcast, and this game is shit, in my opinion. I've played quite a few motorcycle racing games down the years, and I have to rank this as one of the worst that I've played. I mean, I've played games on the Commodore 64, Supercycle springs to mind. It was far more enjoyable motorcycle racing game than this. It seems incredible to me that this is actually endorsed by Ducati. You would think that somebody within the quality control department of Ducati would have actually taken a look at this and said, you know what, this is shit. Even if they didn't know anything about games, you would at least get a gamer to come in and play it and say, is this a pretty good game? Would you put your name to this? It's absolutely abysmal. I mean, the controls are ridiculously bizarre, to say the least. The physics, as you saw just then, are ridiculous. I mean, you can hit a barrier, and this is the funniest one. You can actually hit a barrier, be at a really acute angle to the floor, and not come off the bike. I don't know whether Ducati were trying to promote the fact that their bikes are the safest in the world, and therefore you could hit barriers and you could, you know, be at really strange angles and still not come off their motorcycles. Maybe that was the ploy. But I really can't see too many people having bought this game. What's going on here is me actually trying to get off the barrier, which in itself just seemed rather convoluted. And then you accelerate and the bike just pulls itself to the barrier again. It's like there's a huge magnet there. I will admit that part of the problem is me being crap at games, but I can get round a racing circuit in most of the titles relatively competently. Now, aside from the fact that this looks terrible, I mean, yes, it's the Sega Dreamcast, but the Sega Dreamcast is a very capable games console, and I've played other racing games on there that have far superior graphics to this. I mean, you know, you only have to look at something like Metropolis Street Racer or Sega GT to see that it was actually quite capable. These are just terrible graphics, full stop. And it has that cheap, it's like somebody at Ducati came up with the idea of, hey, let's make a motorcycle racing game, but we're not going to give any money to it. We're not going to put it in the hands of a developer that's going to actually charge us money to make this game. Oh, see, I actually managed to come off the bike there, but it took quite a bizarre collision with one of the other riders. Yeah, the artificial intelligence in this is utterly pants as well. They will fall off for their own random reasons. I mean, you would think that with the time I spent attached to the barrier, the other times falling off it and what have you, you'd actually think I'd be absolutely rock glass. Well, as you can see, I'm about to. Well, I mean, I even managed to fall off there again. Now, I've hardly disappeared down the field, and I'm not exactly on a bike which is far superior to all the others. Believe it or not, I'm right near the end of the race here, and I'm down in 5th, but I will guarantee you that I will win this race, because as you can see, the other bikes, they must be on push bikes or something, because they just don't seem particularly interested in going away. He's fallen off for no reason whatsoever. I'm back in 1st place, and look, I've won. Hurrah. So it would even say to me that the handling is that bad in this game. Even the artificial intelligence has a problem getting around the circuits. The graphics on this one, they're still terrible. I mean, okay, it's in the daytime, and I suppose you could argue it's marginally better, but it's still terrible. I mean, yeah, don't ask me what happened there. You know, just the bike decided to go on with itself for some strange reason. In fact, I'd go I'm going to almost say that this game is that bad it's actually good. There's got to be some sort of cult status that this thing can attain for being utterly shit and being just utterly incompetent and absolutely incompetently programmed piece of software. It looks like a PlayStation 1 game. I was just trying to think then, I was just looking at the way that the track was drawing itself. The sort of white lines have that sort of drawing thing as you get closer to them, the sort of textures or whatever redraw themselves. And I was trying to think where I actually have seen that before, and I've seen that on all PlayStation 1 titles. And it wouldn't surprise me if this wasn't out on the PlayStation. I'd be almost shocked if this wasn't a PlayStation 1 title. That they just simply I was going to say reskin, but I won't even give them that much credit. That they just simply translated to the Sega Dreamcast. It would not surprise me in the slightest if this was not a PlayStation 1 title as well, because everything about it reeks PlayStation 1. But even on the PS1 I could forgive the graphics, but the handling certainly is just absolutely terrible. It really is. And like I say, there again you see I've come flying off the back and I'm still in first place. It is really difficult, despite the fact that the handling's so crap, despite the fact that, you know, you spend so much of your time spinning around on the spot. It is actually quite a difficult thing to lose a race in this. The hardest part is the ridiculous is the utterly ridiculous license thing that they ripped off from Gran Turismo. That's by far and away the most frustrating and hardest part of this game. So that's the amazing Ducati world on the Sega Dreamcast. If you want to laugh at a really bad game, I'm sure you can pick it up for next to nothing off eBay. And that's it. Thank you for watching.